So hello, I'm Alessandra Uy. I'm a licensed architect and a designer with a keen interest in designing unique spatial experiences. So essentially, architecture is the art and science of building and placemaking, bridging the values of aesthetics, culture, and logic set within the context of the built environment. So architectural design is a three-dimensional manifestation of conceptual ideas brought to life with the use of tangible metrics such as anthropometrics, which are numerical proportions meant to mimic the natural attributes of the human body, as well as ergonomics, which deal with the processes of designing physical spaces, products, and systems to fit the people who will use them. So the main idea being the comfort. So ultimately, architecture is meant to address present-day problems and issues concerning the built environment, as well as present positive visions of what our reality could look like in the future. So I've always been a creative at heart from a very young age. I used to always draw and paint when I was younger in my free time. And with regards to design, I began my journey as a designer way back in 2013 as a freshman in college. I was then still learning the basic principles of how to design simple objects and structures, such as benches, sheds, and staircases. I then graduated in 2019 with a degree in architecture. So to put it simply, I've been designing for roughly 10 years now, and professionally, I've been designing for 4. So being an architectural designer has truly given me an understanding that everything in this world has been designed at some point in history. This means that every physical thing we interact with in this man-made world, whether it be through landscapes, spaces, objects, and products, someone has thought about how these things tangibly manifest themselves in real life. So you can see this through the step heights of staircases, which determine how tired we'll end up after going up one floor, or the backrest curvatures of chairs, which can affect our postures and cause back pain, or even the roundedness on the edges of tables, which prevent unwanted cuts from loose splinters. So these have all been decisions made by a designer, meant to facilitate optimal movement, sustain comfortable productivity, and protect us from unsuspecting hazards. So essentially, being a designer has allowed me to not just notice all the little details around us, but also appreciate how they have come to be. I will never forget this moment when I used to be a freshman in college. In one of my archi classes, we had to sketch out an interior perspective, and we had to visualize and replicate the space we were in using the view of a one-point perspective. So from simply observing our classroom, we had to copy the room proportions and come up with a sketch. And then we had to propose a more interesting way of designing the space. So being a freshman, I had a really difficult time figuring out how to compose a proper perspective, since most of us in class, we did not have a technical working experience when it came to sketching spaces in 3D. Also, there were so many details to take note of in the room that we simply did not know where and how to start the actual drawing. And then suddenly, our prof noticed us, and then he approached one of my classmates' drafting tables. And then he asked everyone in class to gather around. So standing in front of us, he started sketching in freehand the space we were in without even looking around. So he just took the pen, paper, then he started sketching. He was just drawing it from his memory. He didn't need any reference. And not only that, he was sketching the perspective upside down. So if you can imagine, this is the table, everyone was here. He was in my position and I was drawing it, and the orientation was correct, facing the audience. So I was like, if I was the prof, I was drawing it upside down. So that was truly such a mind-blowing thing to witness. That moment helped us understand that we had a very, very long way to go before we could call ourselves competent designers. So for anyone out there interested in becoming an architect or a designer, I'd say the most important thing is to always stay curious. as designers, it's important for us to not just be observant with the world around us, but also understand the origins of why and how the things in this world came to be. In other words, it's crucial to have a good understanding of history, culture, and context in order to design spaces and objects that are socially relevant and environmentally sensitive. So yeah, that's it. Thank you and have a great day.